Well, since I last spoke to you, we've had a very unexpected and sad loss. Poor, poor Fred. It was totally unexpected. He was very healthy and had nothing wrong with him. And he just went to sleep one night and didn't wake up. And that was the 17th of May. We had him, he was actually cremated on the 21st of May. He laid in the chapel of rest at the pet crematorium. Now, we don't know what happened. He was very active. He was not overweight. We just don't know. Sometimes this happens, and people have said to me, oh, you could have a post-mortem, but my money is spent on the rats that are living. It won't bring Fred back. The only thing we can think of is that he possibly had a stroke. I had noticed a couple of days before that he, one of his hands was a little bit weak, maybe, that he wasn't holding his food in one hand, but he was perfectly active, and he may have had a little pre-stroke, like a tiny warning stroke, but he was active. He was charging about. He's eating his food, so we didn't think too much about it. Oh, and here's poor Barney. Barney was asleep. Here's poor Barney, our lonely boy Barney. Hey Barney, let's see if I can feed you. I have a very wobbly hand, and we shouldn't really feed you through the bars either, because he's quite a territorial little rat. Here you go, that's it, you take a little Cheerio. So we have poor Barney on his own. Now Barney's doing fine, because Fred did used to bully him a bit, and I think he's enjoying the fact that no one's stealing his food. He's quite happy to not have his treats stolen from his mouth. But poor Freddie, we were very upset, because we can only assume that he's had a big stroke or a heart attack in his sleep. Yeah, but there's a post up on the Facebook page that'll explain it, but before I went to bed he was quite sleepy and he didn't come out to see me. Barney was lying with his head on top of Fred. When I got up in the morning, I realised Fred's not at the bars, and Barney he's still there in exactly the same place. So Barney darling had spent the whole night with Fred, and then he started to run from Fred backwards and forwards, really sad, and he wouldn't let me take Fred out, and Fred had obviously gone by then. He'd passed, he wasn't breathing, so he'd gone sometime after midnight. We assume he just went in his sleep, but when I took him out, he had no. Eventually Barney let me take him out, but he wanted to keep Fred's body with him. They were so devoted. They weren't brothers. That's Matty next door, Matilda. They weren't brothers, but they'd been together since they were very young, and they were devoted. I mean, Fred was the dominant alpha, but Barney is the territorial one. And as my hand has suffered quite badly, as I didn't take my own advice, and when Barney obviously was very upset, I don't know if you'll be able to see this on my hand, I tried to move camera, he first of all, let's see if I can get my thumb in there, it's healing now, but he took a big chunk out of my thumb, and then he attacked my hand. But, you know, he sees me as the wicked, cruel, horrible lady who stole his brother. The fact his brother was dead did not matter. I took his brother. So I have to follow my own advice now. I have to distract Barney when I want to take his dirty bedding out or do anything in his cage. I don't know how we're going to go about it having... Well, I don't think he's going to accept another rat into his cage. We'll have to think about how we're going to do this. At the moment, we're trying to introduce him to our very gentle rat, Rob. He's gone again under there. There's Ray, who's just tried to take my whole t-shirt into her bed. The t-shirt I'm actually wearing. Yes, you cheeky little pink-nosed baby. So, anyway, Rob is so gentle and sweet, so we've tried in a neutral space, but unfortunately Rob runs away and hides, and Barney doesn't take any notice of him at all. So the poor little boy, he's been in here for a week on his own, But he seems perfectly happy. He just doesn't seem to be stressed. He doesn't have, you know, any porphyrin or anything, although I have noticed he has very smelly urine, so we've got him back on antibiotics. I think he has a slight urine infection, which could be caused by stress. There's my girls there. Their star hammocks are being washed, but they're all cozied up, very lazy girls and boys. So this is all very, very, you know, upsetting for me, that during the month of May, please excuse my hand wobble, I have very bad shaky hands today. I should have really got the tripod out, but because I was going to be moving about and I wasn't sure exactly where I'd be filming, I thought, let's see Barney down there. So yes, I'm having to be very careful. I managed to get Barney out in a tube. He wasn't going to come out when I needed to do the big cage clean, so we managed to get him into a tube and move him into the spare cage. You can just see him, maybe there he is. And I thoroughly scrubbed out the cage and got rid of you know, thoroughly cleaned everything so that it's not smelling anymore. I left him for about a few days so that he could still smell Fred, to give him some comfort that Fred, you know, he could smell Fred. But then it came to the stage where I have to have a big scrub out, and the cage was due for its big monthly clean, where I change absolutely everything and take everything apart. So we managed to do that, and I put him back in with them. He's still got some of his favourite toys, so there may be a little smell of Fred around, but mainly all the cargo nets and hammocks and everything. Obviously hammocks are changed several times a week, but the cargo nets, I tend to leave them you know, until they get a bit smelly. You can't wash them every single time, especially with these new cargo nets. They just don't last, they fall apart. So anyway, he had a lovely clean cage. He went back into the cage. I put the food bowl in, and he launched himself at my no, sorry, I went to take the food bowl out to top up with some treats, and he just attacked my thumb very badly. Not as badly as I've been bitten before, but I did have quite a nasty bite on my thumb. That's Ray there, plomped out, little pancakey rat. So yes, so he chomped on my thumb. Stupidly, a couple of days later, went to take the food bowl out to put his little bits in, treats and things at night, and he launched himself from the other side of the cage and chomped on my hand. So I must follow my own advice. If you have a rat that you know is territorial and is going to bite you, don't put your hand in the cage. Don't do what I do what I say, basically. One of those silly things, but yes, I'm afraid everyone is very sleepy. They sleep all day. It's not good. I can't get them out in daylight to do much filming. We have to set the lights up. But I just thought I'd let you know what has been happening. I'm very, very upset. He's the last rat I thought would go. I really was not expecting this at all. I don't know if Barney wants to come and see us. Barney? Where's Barney? He's got lots of stuff in there. He's gone all quiet. He's heard the door. He's probably going to launch himself at me. But, you know, once I've got him out on the floor, he's fine. It's just he does not want my hand in his cage, and I will have to respect that. You must be respectful of your rats. Unless there's an emergency, he doesn't have to come out. He will come out when he wants to come out, and as long as I see him every day and he's fine when he's on the floor and I can check him over on the floor, I don't have to put my hand in his cage. I distract him when I'm cleaning down the shelves. I distract him with the treat over the other side when I'm taking his hammocks, and I'm just going to be very careful, and I'm going to watch him because I don't want my hand chomped too many times. So it's taken me, you know, about 10 days to actually tell you this, because I obviously didn't expect to lose Fred. I thought he'd be one of the last rats to go because of him being so healthy. Hello, Ray. Oh, so I said that was Ray down there, and that's our Emmy pancaked out. Look at this gorgeous mummy girl, Matilda, and her baby. And if you're watching for the first time, I don't breed rats. I've never bred rats. There's too many for rescuing, but Matilda came to us with 2 of her babies. And we also have one of her sons, Rob, who's in another cage. So I expected to lose one of my sick rats who were on with respiratory problems. I didn't expect to lose a healthy, apparently very healthy rat who's one of the younger rats. So there we go. That is life with rats, I'm afraid. But it's taken me quite a while to tell you all about it, because this is our happy month. This is our celebration month. Don't forget to enter our giveaways on Facebook and here, and if you've got some lovely rat pictures, go onto Facebook. We're also going to have a little quiz up later today on the Facebook page with the chance to win some of our little fridge magnets. But no, Barney and Fred, they've been with us. Back to Barney and Fred. They've been with us just over a year. April last year they came to us. We didn't intend to keep them, but they were so nervous where they hadn't been handled. And Barney's always been a bit nippy. He was fine the first few days, and then I realised he's very territorial of his cage. So it's taken me a good 6 months for him to stop nipping my hand when I put my hand in the cage. So we've had a real backward step here with Barney, which is really upsetting. Look, Ray, you're pancaking out. Look at her. Golly, they are huge. And, you know, my other rats, their mummy's really small. The babies are all huge. Absolutely huge, and they're fed the same. They get the same exercise as my other girls, who are really tiny and slim. So this is genetics, and their dad was the same. He got to about 6 months old and he just got huge, absolutely huge. So I am very careful with these girls to try and, you know, make sure that they get plenty of exercise, but nothing works. They're perfectly healthy. They're just big rats who got big very young. So obviously I'm concerned about their weight and the possible risks that come with that. But just as I was saying with Fred and Barney, they weren't going to stay with us. We were going to rehome them, but they were so nervous, and we fell in love with them. They were lovely rats, and my son wanted to keep them. So they've alternated between being up in my son's room and down here. We currently got all the rats downstairs because we've had so many problems with workmen in and out of the house that I wanted the rats back downstairs. Also, it's nice and warm now, so it's much easier to just open the door and get them out on the floor when they're downstairs. So that's what's been going on. My happy May hasn't been as happy as it should have been. We're coming up to birthdays in June for some of the rats. Let's see if we can say bye-bye to Barney. Barney boy, hello, I can see you. Come and see me. Come on, baby. You cannot ever be cross with a rat if they bite you. It's not the rat's fault. The rat will bite you for a reason, and I'm going to be in about a week's time. My next video will be the next part of Think Like a Rat, which is actually going to be about rats and rats that bite. So yeah, come back and see us soon.